Good morning, students. I am Abhijit and I am back with an explanation on the poem The Cold Within by James Patrick Kinney. Before moving on to the poem, let us go and have an acknowledgement about the poet. James Patrick Kinney was an Irish-American poet and he uses his poetic parable. Now, what is parable? Parable is a kind of storytelling in which there is a moral at the end. It's a kind of allegory which has human characters inside it. The Cold Within illustrates the folly of falling prey to discrimination that shortchanges our own humanity. Folly means mistake, and how people fell to their own mistake when they come to discriminate people on the basis of many traits. This poem actually was written in 1960 during the Afro-American Civil Rights Movement. Kinney was outraged by inhuman, indiscriminatory attitude at the time and wrote this poem to prompt some serious soul searching. So this poem, makes a question on our soul whether we are leading our life on the right note. How often are we wise enough to rise above our egos? And how foolish are we when we give in to our prejudices? So these are very important key points. Its message is relevant even today when we face divisive outlooks in the world that leads to hatred and violence. The poem is a reminder to overcome our personal demons and be open to the wisdom of an egalitarian view. Now, what is an egalitarian view? This is a very important note. This is an attitude where everyone is considered equal in worth. This narrative poem tells a story to protest against bigotry and racism. This has a quite different structure, 8 quatrains, 4 lines per stanza. This is not for your relevance. Now there are some words which signifies a particular form, like environment. In dark and bitter cold, line number 2. The dying fire. These lines, line number 5, these words show environment. Now there's another line, the first man held his back, line number 6. He gave his coat a hitch, line number 14. These line shows mannerisms. He noticed one was black, line number 8. The third one sat in tattered clothes, line number 13. So these sentences show physical appearance. So I wanted to emphasize how you need to have a careful observation on the different lines in the structure of the poem, which signifies different dimensions like environment, mannerisms, physical appearance. The delivery of the poem is too straightforward, no fancy words or meandering metaphors. We see allegories in the woodlogs which can be seen to represent a person's abilities and resources, while the fire symbolizes the common good. Another language device used by Kinney is personification. There are so many literary devices you will find out, one of which is personification, where you give personal characteristics to something non-human. He does it with death. You'll find out the poet has personified death by speaking of death having cold hands. I hope what I am saying is making sense to you. Now, Kinney does not preach. This is very important. He wants the reader to draw inferences from the poem, to draw symbolical cues that he gives each character to arrive at a conclusion. The original citation of the poem, The Cold Within, is unavailable. But a letter from Kinney's widow to an advice column tracks the interesting story behind its distribution. I'll send the PDF file to you. You go through it. This is not very important for your ICSE council examinations. Now, let us go for the explanation stanza by stanza. Let us move to the first stanza. First stanza. 6 humans trapped by happenstance in bleak and bitter cold. Each one possessed a stick of wood, or so the story is told. The first stanza is quite significant. We open up to a bleak tableau. The poet recounts a tale he has heard of 6 persons caught together in a grip of severe winter. Each of them probably had a single stick of wood. Note the poet's use of the word humans here. He wants to draw attention to the gathering as specific individuals rather than as a collective group. trapped by happenstance. Very important. It implies no escape from a situation created by chance. Right? So you'll find out the word dark and bitter having cold and ominous feeling. So the first stanza of the poem is very significant. We understand the situation from here. The second stanza, the dying fire in needs of logs. The first man held his back. For the faces round the fire, he noticed one was black. So we find out from the second stanza that cuts into a key character in this story, the dying fire. So the fire is about to be extinguished. The group's prospects do not look good. It is obvious that they are going to die. In the heart of winter, keeping warm is critical to survival. The fire offers a chance for salvation. So here again the fire is having an allegorical significance to salvation. If each person would use their respective logs to feed it, the dying fire is a silent appeal to the group to help themselves by helping each other. So if they do not help each other, one thing is quite sure that they are going to die. We find that the first person withheld his log from the fire only because it would benefit a black person. So there is an essence of racism in the first character. This is racism, where there is discrimination because of a person's race. The man will not even warm himself if someone he looks down upon. Down upon means to make him inferior, simply because of skin color. So we find out that the first person is having racial discrimination and is discriminating on the color of the skin. The next man looking across the way saw naught of his church and couldn't bring himself to give the fire his stick of birch. We move on. The second person looked across the fire and someone who he knew didn't share his religious ideology. And just because of that, he cannot bear to give up his log to the communal fire. So this is bigotry. What is bigotry? Bigotry, my dear students, is one who is fanatic and is quite rabid adherent to his own religion. He looks the religion of someone else's to be inferior. He speaks of intolerance. This is quite common word which you might have heard in today's media. It talks about where you are not tolerant to the feelings of other religion, and it is because they do not share the same opinion or ideas. So the second character is having bigotry and he is having intolerant attitude toward the religion of another person. The third one sat in tattered clothes. This is very important, quite significant. He gave his coat a hitch. Why is giving his coat a hitch? Because he is feeling very cold and he wants to feel warmth. So with his tattered clothes, he is trying to cover himself up. Why should his log be put to use to warm the idle rich? See, idle, this signifies the rich person who is sitting idle. He thinks the rich person are sitting idle, they don't have any work, they earn money from money, they have got a lot of wealth, and the focus now shifts. Here is a person who seems poor. His tattered clothes in the cold weather hint at poverty. He perhaps felt the cold more than the others, as we noticed that he gave his coat a hitch, adjusting it closer to his body to dry out some warmth from the inadequate clothing. But here too is a dead end. We see that he is victim of classicism. What is classism? The discrimination on the basis of discrimination on the basis of class or money. This economic class or discrimination consider those favorably place them to be idle. He is defensive, and in his eyes the rich do not deserve his meager ration, and he will not part with his stick. The fifth stanza, the rich man just sat back and thought of the wealth he had in store and how to keep what he had earned from the lazy, shiftless poor. Check out, lazy. So the poor has been given an adjective, lazy. The poor thinks rich to be idle and the rich thinks poor to be lazy because they are not earning money. The rich have got a preconception in their mind that the poor are lazy and they're shiftless. They do not have the tendency to work. This at cross purposes, we find the next exhibit of apathy. Apathy means kind of pity. The rich man, the caught up hoarding his riches in his head, he is oblivious to reality. He doesn't want to understand the reality. Greed blinds him as he selfishly connives to keep his wealth. Connives means shajish karna, conspiracy. He even miserably holds onto his stick, keeping it from the poor whom he perceives as aimless and lazy. So if you try to understand the situation, everyone has got a preconception in his mind, and that prejudice is creating a rift between the different sections of society. Sixth stanza. The black man's face bespoke revenge. So now the black man who was marginalized in the first stanza, who is also having a prejudice, and he is having a conception of revenge in his mind. As the fire passed from his sight, for all he saw in his stick of wood was a chance to spite the white. Spite means nafrat karna. Even the victim here, which is a black man, becomes an abuser. We know the black person had experienced racism, and revenge for the atrocities he had faced from the white people was the only thing on his mind. Atrocities matlab attachar. One wonders if he had already resigned himself to dying. He saw the fire pass from his sight. Fire passed from his sight. It's a very important sentence in the poem. He realized that the fire was fast getting spent, but the spark of human kindness had died in him, and literally too, he chose to let the group's fire die. He would perish, but he would take the others he hated down with him as well. मतलब खुद भी मरेगा, दूसरे को भी ले डूबे, लेकिन किसी को सुख नहीं पहुंचाए. तो जो मार्जिनलाइज्ड है वो भी किसी को हेल्प नहीं करना चाहता है, क्योंकि जब वो सुखी नहीं है तो दूसरे को सुखी क्यों रखे. Moving on to the seventh stanza. The last man of this forlorn group did not, N-O-U-G-S-T, not accept for gain. Giving only to those who gave was how he played the game. ये तो सबसे खतरनाक है. The last character in this poem is the most deadly one, because he is waiting and watching. He is a professional. He is greedy and he is selfish. For the first time in the poem, the poet foreshadows the fate of the group by finally describing the bunch as forlorn. Forlorn मतलब क्या होता है? Helpless. Until then, the poet had reserved judgment, allowing the readers instead to examine each individual in turn and derive his own conclusion. मतलब हम लोगों को खुद conclude करना है कि बाकी का characters का जो conception है वो कहाँ तक जायज़ है, कहाँ तक वो subjective है. Unfortunately, we find that the last person who also perpetuates the vicious circle of inertia. Inertia means passivity. There is a word for this person's attitude, and it is not in the English language. Pinati. It's a South American language of Yakan people. But here, in simple terms, we say that he is selfish, he is professional, he is having a waiting and watching attitude for others to initiate things. The last stanza, stanza number 8. Their logs held tight in death's still hands. Check out, death is having hands. An apt example of personification. Was proof of human sin. They didn't die from the cold without, they died from cold within. Cold within का मतलब हुआ बाहर ठंड से नहीं मरा, अंदर के ठंडक से मर गया, हृदय के ठंडक से. जब आदमी का हृदय किसी दूसरे के प्रति दया का भाव नहीं रखता है, काइंडनेस का भाव नहीं रखता, करुणा का भाव नहीं रखता, तब समझिए कि आप अंदर से ही मरे हुए होते हैं. We witness the grim aftermath of the group's rigidity of spirit. Death comes, and it is personified here with still hands. Each individual became their own agent of death, their hands frozen stiff. The fact that each of them still possessed their firewood when they died suggests the twisted motives in retaining their firewood. The final lines abound with irony. We realize that it was not the cold weather outside that really killed the group, but it was the cold in their hearts, the lack of warm human spirits, that is, the cold within. Some few questions on the text. The first question. The poem The Cold Within is 4 options: fable, poetic parable, sonnet, elegy. What is the answer? Yes, poetic parable. Right? Moving on to the second question. 2 persons in the group of 6 were evidently selfish. Who are they? First, third, fourth, sixth? It is, the answer is the 4th and the 6th. What kind of prejudices are depicted in the poem The Cold Within? Number 1, class prejudice. Number 2, racial discrimination. Number 3, bigotry. Number 4, gender bias. What is the answer? There are 3 answers: class prejudice, racial discrimination, and bigotry. What is bigotry? We all know that it is fanaticism of religion. The expression the cold within means: number 1, lack of warm human spirit. Number 2, low temperature of heart. Number 3, low temperature of entire body. Number 4, coldness of feelings. What is the answer? Lack of warm human spirit and coldness of feelings. Thank you very much. Have a great day ahead.